Hello, welcome to the program. Ahead, we'll get the results of the latest TV advertising revenue survey and what it means for the sector for the rest of 2015. Plus, the latest on 10 Network as speculation around a sale continues. But first, Australians are finally getting spoiled for choice when it comes to streaming video services. Presto and Stan have joined QuickFlix and entered the potentially lucrative market. Consultancy company Deloitte has forecast that by the end of 2015, 20% of homes in key global markets will have 3 or more pay for content subscriptions. This all coming ahead of the launch of Netflix here in Australia, with it confirming it will be available in homes from March. Well, for more, our co-host James Manning, editor and publisher of Mediaweek, is here with me now. James, it's becoming a pretty competitive space.
Yeah, it is, Ingrid, as you pointed out there. Look, there's a lot of optimistic projections too about how big that audience will be, but it hasn't really been tried out yet. We haven't had a major player with a big offering where we've had response of a sizable audience. So when people are talking about 5 million potentials, 1.5 certain sign-ups, over a number of time, but that's still just a concept. I've got doubts if we're going to get there that quickly.
Yeah, but the next 12 months will be very telling about it, right?
It will, yeah. And it'll be interesting how much detail we get from the different players too, because whether they break down their subscriptions, we'll get things like, encouraging initial take-up or stuff like that. But it'd be interesting to see if we get some real hard data on the, the number of people handing over their money every month as part of their subscriptions. Yeah,
it should be very interesting. And earlier this month, Seven West Media and Foxtel launched Presto Entertainment. We're joined by Sean James now, Director of Presto and Foxtel's On Demand, in the studio with us. Sean, thanks so much for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
Now, of course, you announced this JV last year, subject to regulatory approval. What's the timeline now? Where are you at in the process with the ACCC?
So we're still awaiting that approval. Submissions were obviously closed towards the end of January, and we're expected sometime towards the end of February, start of March, we'll have a determination from the regulatory body.
And just explain us to the split too. Now, the total Presto offer, Seven isn't involved in all of it, are they?
That's right. So originally we launched about 10 months ago with the Foxtel Presto Movies offering, which took some of the content from the Foxtel Movies channels.
Which is 100% Foxtel.
100% Foxtel. And then we now have Presto TV, which is a proposed joint venture between Foxtel and Seven. And then we're offering consumers choice by having the bundle, where they can put the movies offering and the television offering together.
OK, so you've got a competitor as well in Stan, which of course is Nine and Fairfax Media. They're tipping $50 million into that Stan JV. Just how much are you and Seven planning on contributing?
It's a sizable commitment, and between both parties there is cash components, there's a contra component as well. And I think that what we bring too is, if you look at the pairing between Foxtel and Seven, Foxtel's got really good understanding of subscription businesses and how to drive that and managing technology platforms. Seven obviously has excellence in programming and marketing, so we see this proposed pairing as a very, very positive, strong one. The other thing that I think is important to note and has been missed in some of the commentary is it's a long-term commitment in terms of the partnership. We are in this for the long haul. We have very, very aggressive ambitions in the subscription video on demand space, but we're prepared to hang in for the long term.
That, I'm not surprised you probably won't put a hard figure for us, but will it be... Are we talking ballpark? What Stan might be committing?
We're talking substantive numbers, and I think if you see already with the launch campaign, we stood the combined platform up on the 15th of January with an official launch of the 18th. You've only got to look through the Australian Open of tennis, which is some of the most valuable advertising real estate going around in terms of major events, to see the presence that Presto's had in that already. So from both parties' perspective, this is a very, very serious investment.
What was behind the decision not to give a free trial out?
We've had free trials. We've had a number of free trials in market. We'll continue to do that, and we'll utilise that through not only direct customers coming in, but also distribution partners. So we've taken the view to use it as a self-promotion vehicle rather than always on offer. But again, I think within this space, it's a highly dynamic space. It changes the whole time. So there are no hard and fast rules. But as I said, with the movies offering, we've done that previously as well with varying degrees of success.
Maybe save your free trial to March when Netflix is in the corner.
Who knows? Who knows? I mean, one of the things that Presto is that it's very nimble, and so we're able to react very quickly to what's going on. We'll lead the way in some cases, and we'll be obviously very conscious of competitive activity.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you too. You're going to get compared a lot to Stan, I guess, because you're two major players coming in at similar times. They've talked about 5.5 million potential customers. I guess that's the households without Foxtel in particular. They're talking about maybe signing up 1.5 million of those. They seem really confident. Have you researched that sort of potential customer base, and what are your numbers like?
Yeah, look, we've done extensive research into what we think the potential is for this market. The sector overall, the SVOD sector, you've got to remember in some cases we're up against global partners, not just local competitors as well, and that's one of the things I think that's a fairly salient point. The other thing with the SVOD sector is that if you look at international territories, these things can grow very, very quickly, and so we think we can achieve scale in a relatively short period of time. And the third point I'd make is that there's been a lot of commentary about this being a replacement service, that people will buy Presto or something else, that people will take Foxtel or something else. The actual evidence shows that these are complementary, and people are using the subscription video on demand services to actually top up their viewing.
You mentioned that overseas, because it's been well documented overseas that they grow to scale very quickly. Do you expect the same sort of thing here in Australia? And I guess in terms of growth going forward, are you ready to sort of evolve as the competition comes in?
Very much so. We've got a very robust technology platform. It's geared for rapid expansion, and we've got a lot of learnings in the last 9 to 10 months where, you know, we've been up and running with a service with the movies offering. So in that period of time, both from a content point of view, from a technology point of view, there's been really some substantive learnings there.
What's the silver bullet, though? I mean, you look at what's happened overseas. In England, subscription TV, it was getting exclusive sport. People say that's one of the things that's perhaps held Foxtel penetration back a little bit. They haven't been able to get that exclusive sport off the anti-siphoning list. Like when Netflix started making, you know, exclusive content, was that a bit of a turning point for them? Is it?
I think content is king with respect to these services, and content's king in any broadcast environment. We certainly believe that we've got a terrific launch offering. We'll continue to augment and add to that moving forward. We don't have everything that we plan to put in the service there on week one, day one. It's an evolution. And certainly I think that customers expect ease of use, they expect the technology to work really simply, they expect it to be across multiple devices, and we'll tick all those boxes, and we'll make sure that we've got a very, very sharp, compelling content offering.
Got lots more to say here, so we'll bring you back in just a moment. We are going to take a quick break. We'll be back with Sean James, though, after this.